Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Catchers channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing, or first impressions rather, of the new Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation, and I have mine in Mahogany. I made this purchase maybe about a week and a half ago, and pretty affordable. I'm going to have the pricing right here in the video. Just to give you another number, because I know sometimes it's written in a different language, it's 379C. 379C Mahogany. And I bought it online. It's possibly in the drugstore as well, but I bought mine online. Also, I gave the concealer a try as well. And that's what it looks like. It has a doe foot applicator, cruelty free. This one is in the shade Dark Cocoa. That's 8458. And this is going to kind of be a speedy tutorial because I didn't do too much. I kind of tried to stick with just the Wet n Wild products. Wanted to give their brand a try. I've never tried any foundation, any concealer from their brand. I kind of just stuck with lipstick. So this is pretty exciting. I also tried out the Wet n Wild press powder. This is also PhotoFocus press powder. This one is in the shade Cocoa, 828C Cocoa. Also, I'm using their palette here. It's called the Studio Eyeshadow Palette. And that's what it looks like. Neutrals. So, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys see this quick tutorial. Then I'm going to come back and let you guys know what I thought about the product. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so as you can see, the makeup turned out beautifully. In my opinion, it looks very, very nice. I'm going to start off with the foundation first. It reminds me of the, I believe that's Black Radiance foundation. It has the little paddle applicator inside. So I'm used to that. I don't have a problem with it. You know, you can swipe it on the back of your hand and use it, or just swipe it right on your face and use it. Makes it pretty easy to mix foundations if you want to as well. So I like that. Also, it's in a glass. You can see straight through in the store. Love that. The foundation itself was a bit on the orange side. But you see I was able to play around with a little concealer. You can also use a powder that's a little bit lighter than your skin tone and work with it. So it wasn't too off, but it was a little on the orange side. Or some people may see it, well, to me it looks orange, but maybe when I'm editing it may look a little red. But that's what I thought about it. But the feel of the foundation is pretty good. It feels like full coverage though. It does have that full coverage feel. I like full coverage, so I'm good with that. Also, it covered pretty well. I didn't do any color correcting before I put on the foundation. You saw that. Just a primer and the foundation, and that was it. So for drugstore first impression, I give it about a 7.5 out of 10. Because I really want to play around with it, wear it outside and everything, under this Florida heat with my primer, because I always have to wear a primer. So that is a given. I also used a setting spray from Makeup Forever, the Mist and Fix. So I'm going to do all of that later on, maybe during the weekend or something like that, and see how it fares out in that hot weather. But for right now, it feels pretty good. The powder really shocked me. I really like the powder. It's very lightweight. It just kind of just brushed across your skin pretty well. I like the color. It's kind of a satiny feel to it. You'll have to touch it. If you find a tester or something in the store, you can touch it. It's very silky. Very silky. It gave my skin a very nice look. Photo focus look. So I really like the powder. Again, this is something that we're going to play around with outside in that Florida sun, and I will definitely get back to you guys and let me know. I think this is the deepest shade in the powder, the Cocoa. If not, I'll annotate it here in the video. The concealer. Oh, also with the foundation, before I go on to the concealer, it seems to me like you have to move fast with that foundation. It is, like I said, more on the thicker consistency side. I was using a damp beauty blender, and you're going to have to move fast, because if it sits in one spot too long, you're not going to be able to spread it out. It's kind of going to clump up in that section. So you're going to have to move pretty quickly to get it to get around on the face evenly. Same thing with the concealer. I was very surprised, because you guys know I'm pretty much used to my LA Girl Pro concealers. The Makeup Forever new concealer, the HD, is a little bit more on the watery side, but it spreads out pretty good and it dries pretty evenly. This is pretty darn thick, and you have to move pretty fast. So I kind of like it, but I'm kind of on the fence too, because under the eye you could run into problems if you're a creaser. That's where you're going to run into some problems. So you got to move fast with that damp beauty blender for the concealer. But as far as coverage, I think you're going to get a pretty decent coverage with this for the price. And like I said, I'm going to leave all of that below the video. I think you're doing pretty good with this. I'm very surprised, and actually pleasantly surprised, that Wet n Wild came out with these shades and these colors, and I'm happy about that. So check them out as far as that foundation, concealer, and the powder. Alright, moving on to the mascara. Surprised me. That nice thin mascara one with the you know, the really small bristles. I like that. It grabs my little lashes that I don't have very well. Now the actual construction of it is a little flimsy. I kept feeling like this one was going to break. It's a little flimsy. But other than that, I do like the bristles on it, so I can live with that. but it is very, very nice. I love it. It's called the Skinny Mascara MegaSlim. Alright, and that's from Wet n Wild. And that's in black. To me, the star of this show, as far as the eyes was concerned, was this skinny tip eyeliner. I love this. This was super black, super easy to apply. Very, very thin and sharp to the point. Not too long where you're, you know, touching the middle of your eye and making mistakes. It's just short enough for you to get right there in the corner of the eye. And I have those little itty bitty beady eyes. I was able to get right down into the inner corner of my eye. So I'm loving this. I will repurchase this again and again and again, because I was hearing that, and I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, that NYC was discontinuing their eyeliner, the liquid liner that everybody loves, for $1.99. And if that's the truth, it's like, what are they thinking? But this is a very, very close second. How deep and dark it is. Oh, this is awesome. It's hard to find a very deep, dark, black liquid liner in the drugstore. This is good, guys. Get this, definitely. Now, this palette right here, I am not feeling it. I'm not feeling it due to the fact that they don't have any transitional shades in it. Just swatching on the fingers is pretty good pigmentation, but on the eyes is a different story. You really have to build it up and build it up and build it up. So I'm not liking that for the shimmery shades, but the plus in the palette is the deep brown, which is like bam, and that black is like bam. I didn't use the black, but I already swatched it earlier and I was like, okay, yeah, that black is awesome. So it's pretty hard to find a deep, dark, rich, and they're both matte. Both matte, dark brown and a black that are awesome. So it's almost like, I mean, I think I possibly would have purchased it just for that dark brown and black. I want to say I wish that Wet n Wild would come out with like a little duo with that dark brown and that black. That would be awesome. The rest of the shades we've definitely seen before. The shimmery shades, like I said, you have to build up. And those two other matte shades, you could kind of live without. Now, I would see myself using some of my single eyeshadows over here to try to make the look better. You saw what I got. It's pretty decent. And, you know, I give this about a 4.5. And it was a lot of fallout with the shimmery shade I used. The lipsticks from Wet n Wild, we all know and love. I'm wearing Cherry Picking. This is one of my favorite from the Wet n Wild line. I buy this again and again and again. I also picked up a few others that I saw on the site and I was like, I want to give it a try. I picked up Mauve Outta Here, like Move Outta Here. I picked up that one. I think I might swatch these on Instagram so you guys can see them. I also picked up Raven Raisin. I felt like those lipsticks were brown girl friendly, so I wanted to give them a try. I also picked up 3 lip glosses. One of them is That's My Jam. I thought that was cute, so I picked that one up. Even though, you know, it's springtime, we're supposed to be getting out of those dark colors. You can't tell me to put any purple down, so I got that one. Also, I got Rose Gold, and I like to put that like in the center of the lip, make it a little sexy, you know what I'm saying. And I also like Berried Treasure. That's a cute name, Berried Treasure. So I got that one. Matter of fact, we're going to give this one a try right now. I'll put it over Cherry Picking. Beautiful shade. And you see a little gloss makes your lips look like Berried Treasure. Don't know if you can see it from back there, but it's such a nice topper over lipsticks. So that is my first impression of the items that I got. The foundation, I would tell you guys, give it a try. The concealer as well. You just have to, like I said, move fast with it. But they did an awesome job with that foundation. I'm really, really happy with that. And I can't wait to take a few pictures and see if it's really photo focusing on me. And that's about it. Pretty good match for me. Pretty good match. I can work with that. Thank you for watching, guys. Cyber kisses. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.